A day after an IIT student, Suraj, was thrashed by right-wing goons for organizing a beef festival at IIT Madras campus. Well, that's the version of the story you've heard anyway across the national media. Well, the full truth is finally out. There are angles to the story that you haven't heard just yet. The overall picture is the beef wars have intensified. Students held IIT Madras hostage with day-long protests, even cooking and eating beef on campus. All of that happening on one of India's most prestigious academic institutions' campuses. Soon Madras University students also joined hands agitating against the centre's ban on cattle for slaughter sale. As Netas too locked horns, courts too came up with contradictory views. Take a look at this detailed report on the meat wars engulfing India.
Battleground IIT Madras. A day after PhD student Suraj was thrashed for organizing a beef festival on campus, IIT Madras turned into an arena of protests. Angry students marched, defiantly cooked and ate beef, and clashed with the police. The fight for the right to eat turned bitter, violent, and only gathered momentum through the day.
ஒரு ஃபீஸ்ட் நடத்துறதுனால இங்க இருக்கிற RSS ரவுடிங்க கும்பல் அங்க இருக்கிற மாணவர்களை தாக்கி இன்னைக்கு அவங்க ஹாஸ்பிடல்ல இருக்கிறாங்க. அந்த அடிச்ச மாணவர்கள் அத்தனை பேரும் இன்னைக்கு கைது செய்யணும்.
இந்த தாக்குதலை நடத்தியவர்கள் மணிஷும் அவருடைய நண்பர்கள் 7 பேரும் RSS வெறியர்கள். அந்த RSS வெறியர்களை கல்வி நிலையத்திலிருந்து வெளியேற்ற வேண்டும். அவர்கள் மீது கொலை முயற்சி வழக்கு பதிவு செய்து அவர்களை சிறையில் அடைக்க வேண்டும்.
Hundreds of people coming together, staging a protest right outside IIT Madras. The gate has been closed down. It's completely barricaded along with literally a wall of security. All of them making it very clear that there will be no entry into IIT Madras. At this point, finally, traffic also seems to be moving to some extent. There's no entry into the campus.
Away from this action, opposition leaders added to the pressure on the central government. While the DMK held a massive rally in Chennai, in Kerala, Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan stated categorically that the centre's ruling is an infringement of federalism.
കേന്ദ്ര സർക്കാരിന് ഇത്തരമൊരു ചട്ടം ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നതിന്റെ അധികാരമുണ്ടോ എന്ന കാര്യം പരിശോധിക്കപ്പെടേണ്ട ഒന്നാണ്.
In Delhi, the Hindu Yuva Vahini agitated outside the Congress party headquarters against the slaughter of a cow in Kannur by youth Congress leaders. Meanwhile, as Netas locked horns, courts were not left far behind. A day after the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court put a stay on the cattle ban, Kerala High Court hit out, saying that neither the bench nor the protesters had read the new draft notification properly. According to the High Court, there was no question of a ban because there are no restrictions on slaughter, sale or consumption of beef. The Rajasthan High Court, meanwhile, sought life imprisonment for cow slaughter, demanding the cow be given the status of a national animal. The crackdown on sale of cattle for slaughter has split India wide open. With Akshita Nandagopal in Chennai, Bureau Report, India Today.
So yesterday on the national media, you saw the story of Suraj, an individual, the PhD student of IIT Madras, whose eye was injured in that scuffle that took place at the IIT dining hall. There was another side to that story which hasn't been told, and the full story hasn't been told. Akshita Nandagopal is on ground zero, in the best possible place to give you the entire holistic picture that you haven't gotten so far. Because remember, there are many sides to this story. You can't believe only one side. Akshita, it's over to you on ground zero right outside IIT Madras, where you have students and you've invited both sides to give their versions. How's it going, Akshita?
So Shiv, what essentially I've been doing through the days, I've been standing here, getting a sense of the kind of protests, the kind of sentiments here in IIT Madras. I reached out to both sides of the students, Suraj's friends as well as Manish's friends. Suraj's friends assured to come to me. They said that they would be a part of the discussion. Unfortunately, they seem to be holed up in some sort of a meeting, after which they've not responded to my calls. But also, after I spoke to them, I got about 10 students here who've come together saying that they want to set the record straight about exactly what happened yesterday in the IIT campus that's triggered national headlines. So I want to quickly go across to them and let them really narrate the sequence of events of what really happened in the campus, what triggered 2 students being injured, both of them landing up in hospital. Chirag, I want to come to you first. Tell us what happened at the mess yesterday that led to Suraj and Manish both being admitted in hospitals.
Yeah, at the mess, this was a fight between these 2 individuals only. It was a giant mess. One of the person, that is Suraj, he was part of the beef fest what was being held 3 days before. After that, these people, when they were having lunch in the giant mess, there was some verbal miscommunication, or you can say a war between them, fight between them. That fight led to some brushing between one another. Suraj caught hand of the Manish and he tried to twist his hand. Because of that, his hand, actually because of that hitting and everything, his hand is fractured, whereas Suraj has got hurt on his head because he fell on the table. So that was the only thing. There were no 7 or 8 people involved. Like no one hit, 7-8 people didn't hit Manish, nor these people. Yes.
So I'll come to you in a bit. Also, you tell me what happened, because as far as what we know, this is what I'll tell you we know. This is what is out for everyone to see. That apparently Suraj was part of the beef fest that was organized on Sunday. After that, he was cornered. He was, eating lunch is what we hear. He was cornered by about 6 to 8 people. And then they beat up Suraj is what we hear. And in the scuffle that broke out, Manish also got injured. This is the version that's out right now. Clarify that. What happened?
Absolutely wrong. What was happened? The Suraj and Manish was both having their lunch. What happens? Suraj and Manish having their lunch in the mess. There is some communication between, some verbal war between them.
What was that about? What verbal war?
I don't know. We are far, some distance off from. So there are some verbal war in between them, and then fight broke in between them. And the only 2 guys who were fighting are Suraj and Manish. Okay. So in between the fight, due to the fight, the Manish hand got broke, and the Suraj having some eyes injury. That is the point only. And we are listening the news, and we are getting to know that it is a political issue. It is not a political issue. No AVP, no RSS, nothing, no Congress, no BJP, no one is there.
Okay. No, so then I want to understand, because these reports didn't come out of nowhere. It's come from a certain point, which is that there have been friends of Suraj also who have come out and spoken, saying that there were so many people who ganged up against Suraj. They all came together and spoke against him. So what was that about? Are they trying to create some division in the campus? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, there was a narrative generated. As soon as there was a fight taking place, within 10 to 15 minutes, you can see it was all over the news. People along with the photographs and everything. This is not practically possible for the students to quickly go and communicate in a newspaper and even to convince them to get some report out. Unless it's a big issue. The thing was, this was completely pre-planned beforehand.
Pre-planned by who?
By the APSC. There is one group, active group named as APSC. They are actually...
This is the Ambedkar Periyar Study Circle that you
had the beef fest organized 3 days before. So the beef fest organized there also, there was no violence, nothing happening. That means people were not affected, and these people were unable to generate it as a political agenda. That's why they had to do something more than just doing a beef fest. Maybe that might be the provoking thing for them to go.
So on one side you're saying that there's no politics, but you're also putting the blame on APSC, saying that this is something that they did politically. Why would they do it? Why did they do it? Can you tell me that?
Yes, I can
see what happened. They have a group, they have an organization. They are running that organization parallel like a student body. It's a independent student body, I think, under banner of IIT Madras. What they did, the first organized by the BFS that they organized. What they are claiming is that it's a progressive student body, normal student body they organize. It's not like that, because the majority of members, if you count, all are like from APSC. But if you count the others, whoever is there believing from the Sangh or ABBP, anything, you can go inside the institute after 10 days and you can verify the information. Nothing like that. No ABBP is there inside. We are just a student. We want free from the politics. We don't want politics inside our campus. That's what our concern.
No, I'm still trying to understand why the APSC will plant this kind of information that there was an attack and this happened and that happened, and also there's been a lot of talk about who exactly might. Okay, tell me.
That better you can ask for APSC guys, because we don't know why they are doing, but what happened, that only we can say, correct? what is their mentality, how we can come to know. But what we can say is that what happened there. So that only we can say. So that's what it happens in mess. It is a fight between individuals, and that will be narrated as a political issue.
Okay, so I once again want to point out that, representatives of the APSC were also invited into this debate, but they're currently in a meeting is what I'm told, and that's why they couldn't be here. That's why I'm getting this kind of a general consensus from the students as well. You can also tell me who exactly is Manish. Many people have been saying he himself has some sort of political connections, that he has some sort of background.
I will tell you, personally, I'm friend of Manish, okay, and I know him. He is a very cool guy. He don't means usually, but I can say that he will be provoked, and he will be easily provoked. That is the main reason that fight will be there. But personally, I can ensure that there is no political thing involved with Manish.
Many are saying that, he was angry over the protests that took place, over the beef fest that happened. And so when Suraj entered the mess, they had some sort of a problem over that. And that's what led to that scuffle.
See, it was the only one person.
Only two persons are there. No other things are there. Okay, so we also have mail that Manish also mailed to. Before this thing happened, he already mailed to director sir also. And this is not happening for the first time. As you already know that APSC is already there. I don't want to talk about APSC because they are a set of people, and why I will bother about him, because we need our campus to be politics free, and in order to dismantle this thing, or you can say in order to create chaos in the IIT, already they tried since 2 years. As you can see, many news behind that. So since 2 years we are consistently contacting director sir also. Our director sir is very good, but I don't know why he is not taking action. Maybe some reasons will be there, I don't know, but we have consistently contacted with the director. We have mails, we have written everything. We have whatever it is happening in campus, we have already informed to director sir, but I don't know why no action is taken. Because first
simple question, why didn't as soon as this beef party was done, did IIT give permission to it? Was it official? Why there was no notice? If they were not given permission, then why wasn't there any action taken? So
there is no FIR against him.
Yes.
So does that mean you were all against this particular?
It's not about against. It's not about against. It's about the law. Because according to IIT, if you have not given any permission with the administration, you cannot conduct any fest or anything.
Okay. So these are questions that are also being raised on the sidelines of what really happened, Shiv. But hopefully, our viewers will be able to get a sense of what happened. There are two different versions that are coming out. One, there are about 6 to 8 people cornered Suraj that attacked. They attacked him. Manish was one of them, and 2 of them were left injured, badly injured. One with a fractured arm, another with an eye injury. The other version is what these students tell me, that it was only the 2 of them involved. At the end of the day, I guess the viewers can decide exactly what really happened in the IIT.
Absolutely, and it's very important that we brought out this between 2 students that resulted in 2 members of IIT Madras landing in the emergency room yesterday. It's a story that made the national headlines, but the truth is possibly something else. 2 sides to every story. Well, the politics has certainly broken out over it. Joining us this evening on 5 Live, we have Manu Sundaram of the DMK and Narayanan Tirupati of the BJP. Good evening, gentlemen. Manu, if I could come to you quickly first. The DMK was very vociferous and alleged yesterday that this was politics. It was a result of the right-wing atmosphere, led by the BJP. That was the result of this ugly incident that took place on the IIT Madras campus. That was the sense that was brought out by the media yesterday. Today it appears that it was something, probably not that complicated, not that insidious. How would you react? I'm sure you heard some of the students just speaking.
Let me start from what one of the students have just said on this show, Shiv Arur. He said that Mr. Manish had sent emails to the director of IIT in the lead up to the violent incident. Now, if that has happened, then it really raises a question about what the IIT management has been doing with regard to understanding and addressing student concerns. But let me come to your question now. You know what, the issue that you've put forward is quite interesting. I mean, we for one believe that this is not something new to IIT Madras. We've seen this back in Ambedkar Periyar Circle. We've seen this in the University of Hyderabad. We've seen this at the Jawaharlal Nehru University. This polarization of the university campuses has been going on for many years now, and that is a shocking sign, because universities are supposed to be safe spaces, places for education and for students to understand about society better. Yes. Now, moving on to the next point, yes, the DMK continues to voice support for fundamental rights against any ban of cow slaughter, making sure that the economic burden of these rules, which will impact the minorities, the downtrodden, the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, are revisited. But the larger question here, and I cannot emphasize this enough, is the silence of the Tamil Nadu state government. And I say this because I see history repeating itself. We saw the silence of the Tamil Nadu government and the inaction of the central government result in the largest protest in recent history at the Marina Beach in January earlier. And I don't for one doubt that there will be another Marina protest if things continue along these lines.
Okay, so there's a finger pointed at the BJP as well, the Palanisamy government as well as the BJP. Mr. Narayanan Tirupati, how would you respond to that? There was a more vicious attack. Manu Sundaram is much more polite, but yesterday there was a much more direct attack by the DMK, saying it is the BJP's culture, the BJP-led atmosphere in the country that has resulted and has facilitated incidents of this kind. Your response?
Shiv, first of all, I take this opportunity to thank you and congratulate you for bringing the entire facts to the limelight. I thank Akshita also, because in the last 24 hours, the entire country, particularly the Tamil channels and the Tamil political parties, they were all saying that the Manoj was beaten up by BJP, Manoj was beaten up by RSS goons, ABB goons. So many stories we have been planting. And it is now through India today, now it is very clear that DMK has planned a very big communal divide. Congress in the entire country has planned a very big communal divide. They want to divide this country as they did during 1947. They are trying to partition the country by the name of religion and caste. That is what DMK is doing.
That's a big allegation. Okay.
And today it is very clear. In the morning, Mr. Stalin has very clearly said another Marina protest will come. It means that he has accepted that they were the reasons for those very bad things what they went the 6 months back.
Okay.
Now again, today, Mr. Stalin has said this, and it is very clear to destabilize the state government.
That's a big allegation. Manu Sundaram, respond to that.
Debate.
The BJP is saying this is a DMK conspiracy.
DMK is doing that.
You are responsible for stirring it up, and you are responsible for taking ownership of this. That's a very, that's an unmistakable allegation. Manu Sundaram, respond.
Well, it's an unmistakable and unreasonable allegation. I know Mr. Narayan Tirupati is a much more reasonable man than that, but I can see why he is forced to take this position. Listen, the issue has always been how our campuses have become, have been polarized, have suffered in the recent past. And I say this with great concern because I've seen the incidents of vigilantism rise in the last few months. I mean, we've seen Aklak in Uttar Pradesh to Alwar, Rajasthan, to now even an incident in the IIT Madras. Now there are two issues here. One is vigilantism become more mainstream under the present regime? And secondly, are university campuses safe spaces, and are they free from polarization? Manu, now on both issues, I point fingers equally at the state and the central government. And I point, my last point, and very quickly, is that I point my finger at the central government because this policy of one India, one language, one culture, and now one cuisine. I mean, don't tell us what should be on the menu. Just make sure the poor people of India have enough food.
I'm going to bring the focus back on what's not only this picture. Today, this picture also emerges. Well, that's the full story, and there are also other angles to it. But here are the two pictures you must see side by side about what really happened. Was it politics? Was it provocation? Was it pandering? Was it just a student spat over a beef festival? Is it something more insidious? Is it something that the politicians are trying to harness? Well, that's the allegation, and that's the big fight, certainly between the DMK and the BJP. We still have with us Manu Sundaram of the DMK, also with us Narayanan Tirupati. Manu Sundaram, I want to come to you first because the sense is that the allegation, at least from the BJP, is that the DMK has, conspired, tried to take advantage, tried to get political mileage out of this situation, and may have some kind of sinister hand in what is happening at IIT Madras or the other protests. And that's why there was this huge protest today, and you want to make an even bigger deal out of it. The politics part of it aside, the people of Chennai are certainly watching. Are we going to see an even bigger protest? Is this going to be a protracted issue that the DMK is going to look at?
I'll start by reassuring the members of the BJP that DMK had nothing to do with what happened in the IIT Madras. Now you have to understand what incident took place at the IIT Madras is just a symptom of the larger malaise, and that needs to be understood in the right context. Now in any regime, when there is an imposition against the free will of a people, these kind of incidents will come up. We've seen this, not just recently in the Jallikattu issue, but you go back to 1965, when they tried to impose one language over the entire country. The people of Tamil Nadu rose up organically. Now the same, there is a similar sort of context, because here it's an imposition of a culture. It's an imposition of a kind of a cuisine. It's some sort of a it's one authority sitting in Delhi telling you that what should be on your plate and what should not.
No, but is this going to be the next Marina Beach?
When such
is this going to be the next Marina Beach is the question.
Takes place. Well, that really depends on whether the governments of the day in ADMK and BJP have learned their lessons from Jallikattu or not.
Okay. I have with me SG Surya. Mr. Tirupati, I'm going to come back to you. SG Surya, Vice President of the BJP's Youth Wing in Tamil Nadu, is also with us. He's with us on the phone line from Chennai. Surya, good evening to you. We've noticed that you've been tweeting actively on this issue. You had a grievance that the other side of the story hasn't been coming out. You've had your say on Twitter. What would you like to say today? There are students listening. You've got the DMK and the BJP also listening. What is your grievance? What do you think needs to happen next? This is a story where two students have fought. Both of them are apparently injured. What would you like to say now?
No, Shiv, I was very, very pained to see that only one side of the story which got...
We've brought out both sides now. Surya, we've told both sides now. We invited both sides. We're the only channel that has the guts to tell both sides of a story, because we don't take sides. That's the best thing about India today. But tell me, what do you think is the next step? What needs to happen now?
See, what I feel is the political interference. What today happened in the IIT campus, all these fringe groups of different Dravidian party-backed groups came into the IIT Madras and barged into the campuses, and they are protesting heavily, damaging the peace of the IIT Madras campus and also causing hindrance to the traffic, commuters, everything. The question is, from the other side, who are allegedly told to be right-wing supporters, there has been no protest, there has been no organization coming and fighting. So it is all one-sided manufactured propaganda with the help of the usual suspects who are operating in Tamil Nadu, who have their pathological hatred for the Prime Minister Modi, BJP and RSS, anything. There is a scuffle between two students which happened inside the campus. Mr. Suraj, who is apparently playing victimhood on the channel, sat in the Jain canteen and was having food.
Yes.
What was the need for Mr. Suraj to come to the Jain canteen and have food? That is the first basic question. And when the quarrel happened, the words Mr. Suraj spoke out were very offensive, and I have witnesses with me who told me the information first hand.
Surya, stay with me for a moment. I want to bring in the DMK. DMK is Manu Sundaram. Mr. Tirupati, I'll give you a chance for a final word. But Mr. Sundaram, pathological hatred of Modi, Dravidian student groups invading the campuses, vitiating the atmosphere, looking for a political reason. These are direct allegations from the youth wing of the BJP, because they feel that they've been unfairly targeted over what has happened on campus yesterday.
No, I don't think Mr. Modi is so important for us to have a pathological hatred of, and we do not harbor any such hatred against any person. Of course, we do stand up for a certain ideology, and that is one based on equality and equity. When, like I said before, when one group, whoever it might be, it was the Congress in 1965 which tried to impose one language over the entire country. Now if it's the BJP in 2017 which tries to impose one culture or one religion or one cuisine over the entire country, then we will fight for it. And the whole concept of Dravidianism comes from that of rationalism and self-respect. Now that I believe is an essence for any good politician, and this is not just Tamil Nadu. Many other leaders, even Mamata Banerjee has given a similar response. I don't think she subscribes to Dravidian culture.
20 seconds, final comments. Are things going to get worse? Narayan and Tirupati, 20 seconds, final comments.
I am really sorry that you did not give me more time today. But anyway, I am very clear that DMK and Congress, Communists, all these people are trying to make this issue, particularly the Gazette, as a very big, platform for making a very big communal divide across the country. I request my friend Mr. Manu to kindly advise his, acting president, Mr. Stalin, to just read out the entire Gazette notification as Kerala High Court has said.
Okay.
If they have read it properly, definitely they would not have held this protest in the morning. And I request Mr. Manu to tell Mr. Stalin, really, if they have the guts, let them go to Marina and hold a protest.
Okay, we'll have to see whether, yes.
Definitely will take a good action. Yes.
Okay, we'll have to see what that protest will actually lead to, whether it's going to be an organic protest, whether it's going to be a political protest. But thank you very much, Manu Sundaram, Naran Tirupati, and to our other panelists who were with us on this show. We tried to bring out all sides. I'm sorry if I didn't give enough time to some of our panelists, but we want to try and get as much and as many voices in on this contentious story as possible. I want to go across now to Akshita Nandagopal once again in Chennai, where we understand that protests have once again broken out. Akshita, what are you seeing around you? It's flared up again, apparently.